Barbados, get up.
Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Terrific Tuesday morning to all of you everywhere. Welcome to today being Tuesday, the 28th of January, 2025. Time is really going by so swiftly. Who would have thought that today would have been the 28th? Just yesterday we were saying it was the 1st of January. But welcome everyone here, there, and everywhere. I'm Pearson Bowen, always wonderful having you company. Remember, you can engage with us on our social media platforms. We're found on YouTube and Facebook. And when you're there, you can comment, you can share, you can like, you can do all of those kinds of things. And we'll be happy to hear from you there too. Or if you have something to say to us, an idea, a subject that you'd like us to discuss, you can email us at morningbarbados@cbc.bb. morningbarbados@cbc.bb. We'll be happy to hear from all of you, and we thank you for being partners with us every morning, Monday to Friday. Always good having you company. Now, coming up today, of course, I have my question of the day. You know how it goes, bright and early on a morning, first out the block, or question of the day. That is today, if you could have any job for 1 week, what would that job be? So if you had just 1 week, you just want a job, and you said, give me that job for 1 week, and you would see, what would that job be? You get busy now and think about it. Give me a call as well on 228-5562 or 228-5563. If you're on our Facebook page, you can comment there as well. We'd love to hear from you. If you could have any job for a week, what would that job be? And as always, I'll ask you why. So don't just have an idea and not tell me why. Tell me why as well. If you could have a job for just 1 week, what would that job be? When we give you the power in your hand for just 1 week, what would you do with it? And I can tell you, our technical director says to me, he would want to be the advisor to Trump, to President Trump. And maybe ask him why. He says, boy, the world would done in just that 1 week. So thank you for that thought as well. My producer thought that she should be a passenger service agent at the airport. She always wanted to work with American Airlines, not American, with Air Canada. And so she thought she just wanted to be one of those for 1 week, working and serving at the ticketing booth at the airport as well. So well done to you as well. So what is your thought? For just 1 week, what would that job be and why? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Now, it's Tuesday morning, so you know on a Tuesday morning we have our conversations on CARICOM, and in a little while we'll be talking with Ambassador David Comishon, Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM. We want to hear more about Barbados leadership, not just in the Caribbean region, but globally as well. And there is an initiative we want to share with you in just a while. We'll this morning also catch up with the lady who 25 years ago took the bold step to open her own agency, and so she became known as the Agent of the People. She celebrates 25 years. She'll be with us this morning as we begin that celebration with her as well. Who is she? You will soon get to see. The Barbados Fire Service is marking its 70th anniversary, and they have a whole slate of events to mark that occasion. They will join us as well to share with us how we can be a part of the celebration of 70 years of service as the Barbados Fire Service. The Holy Innocent Primary School, they're having a big and exciting concert coming up. They'll join us to tell us about that. And have you ever taken the Bridgetown Literary Tour? I'm being serious. Have you ever taken that tour? It is a tremendous tour. And there's so much that you can see, there's so much you can learn, and there's so much with which you can engage. And so they'll join us this morning to tell us about the upcoming tour, the excitement of that tour, and how you can be a part. Now, the stage is also set for the 40th staging of Laugh It Off, No Name, No Blame, No Lockup. And so the organizers, the director, and one of the actors will be with us, and I can't wait to have some laughter with them in just a little while. The St. Michael's Center for Faith, they're having a series of activities starting tomorrow, and so the Dean of the Cathedral Church of St. Michael All Angels will join us today to talk more about what we can expect coming up in just a few days. So don't forget the question of the day. If you could have a job, any job for a week, what would that job be? and tell me why. Call me or write it on our Facebook page and let's get talking about that. But let's start our conversations on CARICOM while I wait on your interruptions and your conversations and your thoughts. Let's look now at our conversations on CARICOM and welcome Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comishaw. Ambassador, good morning.
Morning, Pearson.
Good to see you yet again. Now, the Prime Minister, not just as chair of CARICOM, but as a global leader, sets agenda. And I know at the beginning of the year, she would have issued a message to CARICOM as the incoming chair of CARICOM. And in that message, she made some very profound statements, one of which deals with our relationship with another global partner. Let's take a look, first of all, at that speech, and then I want to hear your comments thereafter.
We're also welcome as a community to welcome the declaration of the second decade for people of African descent beginning today, the 1st of January, 2025. This achievement reflects the tireless advocacy of our region and the strides made during the first decade, including global recognition of our 10-point plan for reparatory justice and the establishment of the United Nations Permanent Forum for People of African Descent. Yet, my friends, so much remains to be done in this area. We must continue to press the international community for a mature face-to-face conversation at all levels so that we may see them repair the damage from the exploitation through the immoral institutions of slavery and colonialism which our people suffered from. We must also urge the international community to provide resources necessary to improve the dignity, security, and material conditions of African-descended people worldwide. The spectacle of 600 million Africans without electricity in an age of AI is in no way morally acceptable to us as a community, which is part of the African diaspora that is the sixth region of Africa. Yes, us CARICOM people. In this regard, we will further continue our work to strengthen our relationship with the African Union as a community of Caribbean people.
That's Prime Minister of Barbados and the head chair of CARICOM, Mia Amal Motley, as she addressed CARICOM at the beginning of the year. And so, Ambassador, there's a lot to unpack in just those few seconds that we just shared with everyone. Particularly, let's start with the whole declaration of the decade for people of African descent.
Yes, it's so significant that Prime Minister Motley, at the beginning of her chairmanship, signaled very clearly that this relationship with Africa and this commitment to Pan-Africanism, global Pan-Africanism, is going to be a priority for her. And she immediately zeroed in on this UN International Decade for People of African Descent, this second decade that is beginning. And she made the point that she placed Barbados and CARICOM right at the center of that initiative, because truth be told, that the first UN decade really came out of the World Conference Against Racism that Barbados played such a big role in 2001 in Durban, South Africa. And she quite rightly said that two of the great achievements of that decade were, one, the advancement and popularization of the CARICOM 10-point reparatory justice campaign, because CARICOM really, at the beginning of the decade, launched this reparations campaign, which has sparked a revival of the reparations movement worldwide. And then she singled out the establishment of the United Nations Permanent Forum on People of African Descent, which is this new UN entity that has been given responsibility for really overseeing the agenda, the development and human rights agenda of all people of African descent. And we, CARICOM, we have 2 seats in that 10-person commission. So that forum, we occupy 20% of the seats in that forum, which is a real tribute to a small region like CARICOM. And the importance of this second decade is that while we made some achievements in the first decade, we recognize that there's so much still to be done. And at a time when so many old battles seemingly have to be fought all over again, at a time when we are seeing so many reversals of achievements that our African American brothers and sisters, for example, made over the decades. We see them now having perhaps to fight those battles all over again. It is really saying to us that we need to embrace this UN decade. We need to embrace this next 10 years, and we need to make it a golden age of Pan-Africanism, a golden age of developing relations in the Pan-African world, CARICOM, African Union, the Caribbean, Africa. And I am so pleased that the Prime Minister sees this as a priority, and she has signaled this at the very beginning of her chairmanship, the very beginning of this year. And I can tell you, Pearson, that immediately she's going to have an immediate opportunity to really fast track this, because the African Union has invited her to address all of the leaders, the 55 leaders of Africa, at their Heads of Government Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, next month. So she's going to have a perfect opportunity to set the agenda, to put on the table, the critical issues that need to be addressed if we're going to build this Africa-Caribbean relationship.
When I looked at the first international decade for people of African descent, I wanted to see what the objectives were, to be reminded of it. It talked about promoting respect, protection, and fulfillment of all human rights. I think that continues. To promote a greater knowledge of and respect for the diverse heritage, culture, contribution of people of African descent to the development of societies. And we see how we're doing that in movement of people to Africa and to the Caribbean. They also said to adopt and strengthen national, regional, and international legal frameworks according to the Durban Declaration and Programme of Action and the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination to ensure full and effective implementation. Are we there yet on that third objective?
Well, the overarching theme was acknowledgement of Africans and people of African descent, justice for Africans and people of African descent, and development. Those were the overarching themes. And our Prime Minister pointed out that there are still 600 million people on the African continent who don't have access to electricity, as she said, in an age of
AI.
Artificial intelligence. And that speaks to an unfinished agenda, because we know that Africa was ravaged by centuries of a slavery system, a European-imposed slave trade, slavery, colonization, and that significant damage was done to Africa's civilization, and that much of that damage still exists. So and this is why there was such a demand for a second decade, because we were not satisfied. First of all, we were not satisfied that the United Nations itself, the United Nations declared the decade, but then did little to make sure that the decade produced the kinds of results that it really needed to produce. And I think what was lacking for much of that decade was that we did not have a central UN agency overseeing it and driving it. Towards the end of the decade, we got the establishment of the UN Permanent Forum for People of African Descent. But we needed really to get that at the beginning. So that came on board about 2 years before the end of the decade. So it's had limited scope to really achieve. But the UN Forum then led the call for a second decade. And so we now have a full 10-year period before us, ahead of us, with a UN entity in existence now to oversee and to drive that process. And the Prime Minister signaled very clearly that one of the objectives of this next 10-year period must be reparations. And the CARICOM approach, the CARICOM approach has been very reasonable. We have simply pointed out the facts of history, the fact that damage was done, And we have said to these European governments that were involved in slavery and slave trade, look, come and sit with us and let us discuss what role you can play to help repair some of this damage. And a very reasonable, rational approach. That approach thus far has really been rebuffed by the governments. Yes, you have had some families and some institutions showing that moral conscience,
Right.
but the governments, and there's a lesson in this because things don't stand still. Either you are moving forward to greater justice, new and more elevated relationships, or you don't stand still, or you're going to go back. And we are seeing signs of regression, right?
Yes.
We don't have to be very specific, but we are seeing signs of regression to some of the most backward ideas and values. So I hope that message sinks in. When we launched the reparations campaign in 2013, Pearson, we said the 21st century must be a century of reparative justice, where we must take these old relationships that were based on, victimization and oppression, and we must take them and elevate them now and take them to a new quality of brotherhood and solidarity, etc. And that's what we want. And the world will either move in that direction or it will regress. So we have a decade now, hopefully, that common sense and reasonableness and humanity will prevail. And at the end of this decade, we will not be saying that there are still 600
Yes.
Africans without access to electricity.
Something we think is so basic to our ability to do what we do. But she also ended in her comments about Africa speaking to the African Union as a community of Caribbean people. I think that's a very interesting statement. What do you see that to be?
She's saying the Caribbean is attached to Africa as a sixth region,
Right.
the diaspora. Well,
Right.
the African Union some years ago, the Africa is divided into 5 regions, east, west, north, south, central. And some years ago, the African Union said, look, there's a 6th region of Africa. And that 6th region is the diaspora. So we Caribbean people, with a majority population who came from the African continent, we are considered to be part of that 6th region of Africa. And I think we have recognized that for us going forward, developing the relationship with Africa has to be a priority. That's our ancestral homeland. The people who intended to keep us weak tried to make a break between us and that ancestral homeland. And we have to have the good sense to reverse that and to come together as a people. And, and we are doing so, Pearson. As I said, the African heads of government have invited Prime Minister Motley to come and speak to them at their heads of government summit. But some breaking news I have for you. I just got this missive from the permanent mission of the Republic of Benin to the United Nations a couple of days ago. And it is speaking about a very important meeting of foreign ministers of CARICOM and Benin.
Right.
That was held in Benin on the 8th of January. And they have agreed that CARICOM and, Benin is this country on the west coast of Africa, right next to Nigeria. Many of our Caribbean people during the period of slavery were brought from Benin. But it has been agreed that there will be a special relationship between CARICOM and Benin. And in fact, the foreign ministers will meet every 2 years, sometime in Benin, then in a CARICOM country. So this is all testimony to that vision, that Pan-African vision of developing the relationship with Africa. And of course, Barbados has established embassies in Ghana and Kenya, and we are working with Rwanda on developing a life sciences industry in Barbados. So this should send a message to us, because that new life sciences industry is going to be is going to be the most recent new addition to the economy of Barbados. And we are partnering with an African country to help us develop our high-tech industry in Barbados. So it is sending a message to us that there's so much for us to gain, us Barbados, us CARICOM, in a relationship with the continent of Africa, 55 nation states, 1.4 billion people. We have to establish that direct airline link between the Caribbean and hopefully Barbados and the west coast of Africa. We have the Afri-Exim Bank, African Export-Import Bank, headquartered right here in Barbados. So all of the pieces are really coming together nicely at the start of this new international decade for people of African descent. For us, a good wicket is being prepared that we can bat on and score some serious runs over the next 10 years.
I like your cricketing analogy, but it seems exciting times ahead. Stick around and find out the result of the exciting match. Thank you, Ambassador Kamishong, as always.
My pleasure.
For engaging conversations on CARICOM, and we do look forward to what we're going to talk about next week excitedly, because Barbados is leading the way. The Prime Minister has signaled clearly that we've got to move in the direction of forming closer relationship with the continent of Africa. We are, after all, peoples of African descent in this decade. We look forward to the exciting changes. Thank you, Ambassador.
My pleasure, Pearson.
You're welcome. Morning Barbados takes a break. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
24 minutes after 6 o'clock, I stood up, I had my hug, I had my greeting, I had my warmth poured into me once again from my good friend Julie Dash. After all, she is the real estate agent of the people. I did tell you that at the beginning, right? 25 years in the business, and she still looks as youthful as ever. Julie, good morning.
A very good morning to you, Pearson.
I love the way you always greet us. A very good morning.
I'm just so thankful to be here, that's the truth. I haven't been in the studio for a long time,
Yes.
haven't seen you for a long
Yes.
time, and you're one of my favourites, as you know.
I know, but we've gone back so far.
Yeah.
I remember the days of you starting the business
Yes.
and coming onto radio
Yeah.
and talking it up. And now, without having to say anything else, we know when we say the real estate agent of the people who we're talking about.
That's
that must be
right.
phenomenal.
Oh, it is. In those early days in the studio, when I was shaking so hard it would blow a part in your hair, you know, it was
Yes.
so, it's just such a long time ago, and yeah, we're still here.
Yeah, we're still here. 25 years, Julie. Talk to me about the beginnings. I remember once you told me the story of the cruise ship.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that and how you got into real estate.
So I came to Barbados on a cruise ship when I was 20 years old. I was a cocktail waitress on the MTS Daphne at the time. I was here just for a very short while, and I was working 16 or 18 hours a day those days on a Greek ship, which was difficult. I was 20, I was young. You can do a lot when you're young. And I was off from 10 till 12. That was my break. And I got changed, got my swimsuit and my towel, and ran. There's no buses like now to the end of the pier. That's that original pier. Ran right through and found a taxi that was a Woolsey, an old Woolsey. Remember those?
Yes.
And I said to the taxi driver, could you please take me to a beach? Wait with me, because I've got to be back at work for 12 o'clock. He said, right, let's go. I remember going up the road, which would not have then been the Spring Garden, to the Cunard Paradise Beach Hotel. And the song in the car was Dan Hill, I Want to Hold You Till I Die.
Wow.
My long-term memory is absolutely stellar. And went there, got a pina colada, put my towel under a coconut tree, which I realise now might have been an error if a coconut fell off. And God came to me quite literally and said, this is where you'll spend the rest of your life. Bear in mind, it was my second port only on that trip. So I went then for 5 years all over the world and came back here, got married, had my daughters, various business ventures. I had a distribution business that by 1999 I was $500,000 in debt, meaning Ninja Man was $500,000 richer than me. I was going to the wall at a rate. I worked that out, I sold the business, and I realized a lot of the demise of that business was stealing from every sector. And I said, I want something where I don't have to touch cash anymore, that people wouldn't be able to steal. And someone was working with me. I said, but now I don't have a job. What am I going to do? And Janet Bailey, she said, well, you always said that you'd like to do real estate. I said, good idea. Closed my briefcase, went straight to the court and got the license and just started. I thought at first that I would be able to do short-term rentals around the Caribbean. So I put adverts in every paper in Trinidad and everywhere. And we did build a good business doing that. And then one day a lady from Trinidad called me and said she had a piece of land for sale in Ocean City. Would I help her with it? And I said, sure. And I did it. I decided that TV and radio were going to be my choice of medium to get me through. I think I was the first person ever to advertise on radio.
Indeed.
I took a lot of stick from that, from the competition. They were very mean in the early days, you know. And ridiculed for it and all that. Yes, at the beginning, I suppose I was a bit green, but I think I've got the hang of it now.
Julie, there's a strength in you that I don't think we see on the surface. Where does that strength come from to persevere?
I think it's an enormous faith in God, in the universe to take care of me. I'm 61, nothing yet has happened that I haven't handled, but I do see in other people their struggle. And, you know, you asked earlier about what job would I do for a week.
Yes.
And I would be right here as a real estate agent in Barbados, looking after people. Real estate is so attached to life. People are born, people die, people get married, people get divorced, people get rich, people go broke. So there's a lot of emotional work in my work, especially on Saturdays when I do my main listings. I could do 10 appointments on a Saturday. And, you know, sometimes there's tears. For all of the sadness, I have learned to be very attached to that and very careful of how you deal with people's emotions. And I think that people normally in jobs, it's just a job, you just make money. It's far more to me than that, and that so many Barbadians still struggle with real estate. You know, they're asset rich, cash poor, and I think the average agent just wants to sell it. Whether there's a problem or not, they don't always look at that. We're very thorough in the front. We want to know that you've got your documentation. And just yesterday, as if God was talking to me, a lady called, and there is a belief in Barbados that if a piece of property was left, it belonged to somebody, wasn't clear, but this family member has been paying the land tax on it since the person died, that is now theirs. There's little things like that that we need to help people with. Just because you pay land tax on a piece of land that belonged to one of your late relatives does not mean it's yours. And this lady said to me, well, what if I put a fence around it? I said, well, that's not going to help. you know, and many people have lost the title deeds. Barbados is one of the only countries in the world where you can't sell on copy, not even certified copy of your title deeds. So they don't realise how important they are. And that's my first question. Many people get to the point of sale to find out that they don't have the right documentation. So I like to help people with those kind of things. People need legal and financial assistance, and after 25 years, I've got very good people around me. I can, you know, solve most problems. And for all of those problems you might have out there, there is always a solution. I think I have to be the queen of the unfinished structure. I sold so many unfinished structures in my life that people don't even want, they're ashamed of them sometimes, that they don't even want to talk about it because they think no one would want this. Well, in fact, there are 8 billion people on earth and I'm only looking for one customer for yours. So for different reasons that happens. Sometimes people get robbed by a contractor, sometimes somebody dies, and then those structures deteriorate very quickly in this environment. And one man's nightmare is another man's dream, and there's always somebody for your property.
What's a dream? That's
right.
But you're also because people are at the center of everything you do.
Yeah.
And in terms of pulling your team together, because I know you kept it relatively small,
yes,
but
still
very effective, and recognizing that each person who is a part of your team has to have people at the center of what they do. When it comes to recruitment, how does Julie Dash go about that?
Well, we really don't need a lot of recruitment because Gregory Aline, he's been with me for over 30 years. He was with me before we came to real estate. And I say, well, you don't get that for murder, working with a woman like me for 30 years, you know, because it has been said I'm difficult. And what do they mean when I'm difficult? It has to be done properly. We have to serve at a very high level. And I saw a reel of Warren Buffett just a couple of days ago, and he said it isn't about service, just giving a satisfactory service, which many people in many areas complain that they don't even get satisfactory service. It's about delighting your customers, making them know that they are the most important thing in your universe at that time, and that you take care of every aspect of their problem, whether it be emotionally, financially, whatever it is that they need, that you give more than you're paid to do. And eventually then your job pays you for more than you do. So give more, be more, do more, love more. And I think if you have the ability, because as you know for a long time, I'm highly dyslexic.
Yes.
And people say, oh, don't tell anyone that. And here we are telling 50,000 people, because that doesn't have to be a disability. You can use that. And years later, I think I was about 45 before I realized that that was my problem. And then it was said that the type of dyslexia I have comes with a degree of logic that only 1% of the world's population have. You know, a lot of people talk around every subject and they talk. Get to the bottom line. You know, how can I help you? You know, you don't need the long story, and I think that saves a lot of money.
Yes.
It makes you be more effective in your job. And I just love to help people in the videos that I do now that go out. We do a video as your property is listed, and I'll say, please share these videos, because you never know when you're getting someone out of a bad situation into a better one, which is nearly every day in my job. So if everyone can share, if everyone can be kind to one another, I think kindness is the most important thing ever. And joyful exuberance is something that I'm working on, because all of us we can be depressed, we can be sad, we can think that we've got the world's worst problems, but on a morning when we get up, it's our decision. And my decision today and all days is to be joyful. I don't know how long I can hold that every day, because you can go out there and I go walking in the morning and I'm very joyful. And then all of a sudden someone will ring up or turn up and blow it out the window. Immediately.
But a part of what you do also is to give back to the community. I know your charity is legendary. Everyone knows what Julie does to help those who are in need. Talk to me about that initiative. And what is it, apart from just the fact that it's just people, what is it that drives you to reach out in the way that you do?
Well, if you have the ability, which I know I have, you must use it. God gives you these gifts. It's a gift. So we did 10 years with Red Plastic Bag and Mac Fingall and the team with 45 disadvantaged children on the island safaris. Then we did 10 years with people over 65 who live alone on the buses. COVID then slowed us down, and then we did a beautiful Christmas lunch for people. We're very good at finding the people who really need. And then, of course, we do a lot of private work, you know, quiet work of helping people. If everyone could do just one random act of kindness every day, just one every day, be mindful in the morning, make up your mind to do that, because it's so easy to be mean. And it seems to me that a lot of people take that choice on a morning, I'm going to be mean today, when you could take that choice to be kind, to smile, just to smile at someone. And again, it's habits, really. It's a habit to smile. But I truly feel genuine love. I love my job. I love Barbados. I love doing what I do. And
I'm glad that you're able to share in this kind of way, even though we're talking about your company particularly, 25 years. But I wanted people to get to know the magic behind the company of Hannah Properties Limited, and the woman who drives this and the team who drive it as well, and how you make what for some might seem impossible, very possible. You take the property, the love that I might have poured into my unfinished property, and I'm speaking your language because you say it in this kind of way, you can turn that love into something for me. And that's what you do for those who you serve day by day. Listings you do because you go out, you visit every property, you meet with everyone, and you get online and you said, this could be for you. And that's what you've been doing for 25 years, Julie. Stop for just a moment. 25 years.
Where's that gone?
Yes, indeed. So when you mark time in your head for just a moment, are there any milestones that you would have met that you thought, that's a signal moment I shall never forget?
Well, I think there's many of those along the 25 years. And real estate, you have young people calling and asking how you go to school and everything. That is a very difficult one because it's experience that you're learning every day, and we still are learning every day. You know, you'll come across a different problem every single day. So the marks, there's nothing particular except that our advertising tool, that has been very, very strict and very, very linear for so many years. And now with the advent of Instagram, we have almost 20,000 followers on Instagram. I'm hoping to make that 25 this year. So please follow me on Facebook and Instagram and see if you can help that dream come true, to have 25,000 followers in the 25 years. So our advertising tool is sharper than it ever was. The team, Gregory Allen has been with me for the 30 years. Kurt Trotman, he's been with me for 7 years. Most of the people stay, but in between, if we do have a position, we turn over a lot because I am strict. It has to be done properly. It has to be done our way. Customer service, little things like when anyone calls anyone up, smile before you dial.
Yes.
Because you can hear it.
Yes.
I mean, some people answer the phone as if they're answering the phone at Coral Ridge or Westbury Cemetery, like it's already dead. And and so smile before you dial, because people can hear that in your voice. You know, Hannah Properties, good morning, even if I'm still asleep. Because we have people on different time zones that can call at any time. Because, so say you're in bed, for example, and you're fast asleep, you're going to make that person feel really bad if you go, oh no, right? Because they know that they've woke you up. So be cheerful. I don't want to make you feel bad. I appreciate you calling me. Please dial my number all day. And we work all the time, all through Christmas. We appreciate that holiday times are times where people have time to go to look at real estate. We work on weekends because we know that you have to work hard in the week. And particularly, we love Saturdays.
Yes.
We work sometimes 10 appointments, and then we go to find South on Saturdays, me and the staff. And we want to give a big shout out there to Velma in Sugar Hill, St. Joseph. She is my number one. And Thelma in Riverland in St. Philip, because, you know, good South is getting harder and harder to find, you know. I know that's off the track, but...
that's all right, but that's just the nature of who Julie is. Julie is so Barbadian, you couldn't begin to imagine. And I'm glad that even at 20 years old, when God placed it in you that this is where you shall be, here you are, and you're continuing to contribute in significant ways day by day to the upliftment of people. That's what Hannah Properties is all about.
That's right.
Real estate agent of the people. You don't see them as an opportunity. You see them as people. Beating hearts with emotions
Absolutely.
and experiences that they need to realize.
Yeah.
And so you help them live that experience in a meaningful way. And you do it so well, and you have been doing it now for 25 years. Can you project to the next 25 years?
Well, I'd like to be here for you in the next 25 years, and I would like to renew my vow of 25 years ago, the real estate agent of the people, that I am here to take care of people's problems, to sort these problems out. Many people had problems when we started, you know, that were over 20 years old, and with a magnificent legal team, some took us 3, 4, 5 years to sort through their problems, to sort through the paperwork. Time is a great healer. Time can sort a lot of things out, and I will be here to serve you for as long as I possibly can. I can't promise another 25, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
These boots are made for walking.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
That's Julie's favorite song for karaoke, indeed. And then when we were on radio, we did this, Julie, 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 do you love me?
And
Oh, the days, Julie.
Of course I do. The lipstick that was on your face. Because, you know, I have to channel me in a Dolly
course.
Parton every day and sparkle. But yes, we had great times in those studios, didn't we?
We've done
It's just
great,
so
great
fabulous to
times.
be back here with you.
It is so good to have you and to celebrate with you your 25
Thank
years,
you.
Julie. Thank you for choosing us
Thank
to be
you.
able to tell the story. And I think for a lot of people now, they get to know Julie so much better today, because now you know she is just a bundle of fun with a big heart, but she means to help you people. So Julie Dash, the real estate agent of the people, Hannah Properties Limited, celebrating their 25th anniversary this year. And again, the number to call, 262
5072. And I'm available for you. Call me. Any problems, even if it's a problem that you believe that won't be solved, I'm here to help you. I'm here to move you along and make you better, make your situation better in real estate. I am so thankful to be here with you all today, and to all the crew here at CBC. I'm off up to Admiral in a minute to do my program live for the first time since COVID.
Yes. 262-5072. See, I still remember it. 262-5072. The real estate agents of the people. You can call Julie and talk to her directly. She'll be able to help you through the situation you're going through. And what I think is so important, Julie, is that in helping, sometimes you say no. And you understand how to say no, but you show them the possibilities.
Absolutely, because sometimes you might be thinking that things are one way. I mean, I don't list anything I don't fully believe I can sell. I mean, there are properties for sale in Barbados that have been for sale, not with me, but signs have been up since we began in 2001. I'm not going to allow that to happen to you. I'm not going to list your property and leave you hanging on the line. I'm going to work with you on 3-week periods to see how we're going.
262-5072. Hannah Properties Limited, the real estate agents of the people. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
And all the best always.
Thank you, and to you too, Piers, and I love you so much.
You know this reciprocated.
Thank
you know
you.
that. Julie Dash, we're coming right back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game with Domino's and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
14 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock as we turn our attention now to the 70th anniversary of the Barbados Fire Service. And I know you're scratching your head, but they would have been around much longer than that. Listen, the 70th anniversary of the Barbados Fire Service. And so joining us this morning is the Deputy Chief Fire Officer in Henderson Patrick, who is no stranger to Morning Barbados at all. He's been with us for decades as well. Morning to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Pearson.
Thank you for joining us. With you, you've brought along Marlon Small, who is Divisional Officer as well. Marlon, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
I'm going to start with the question of the day. If you could have one job for 1 week, what would that job be?
I'll start, Pearson, thank you very much for having us here on Morning Barbados, and we appreciate the audience that we have out there. I think that's a very easy question for me. I've been in the fire service almost 40 years right now, and it takes character to be able to stick in one job for that length of period. And if I had to choose a job for a week, again, it would be a firefighter.
Back at the beginning or in this position?
I would say the continuum, because you meet different milestones and marks. And what's important is the persons that you're able to help along the way. And I think that if the choice would be driven by that desire to help people, to be able to make a contribution to nation building and things of that nature.
Good answer. Marlon, what about you?
Well, he stole my thunder, but I'm definitely doing what I would do if I had the opportunity for a week. The ability to really help persons and change person's lives, and especially the environment we're in here now, working with the youth, and really just contributing to Barbados and the development of Barbados. You will recognize that there are no two incidents in the fire service that are alike. So it's a challenge your mental capability to find a solution. Yeah. So definitely I'm doing what I love.
Yes. No doubt we have to support you guys at this anniversary. 70 years these boys have been at this in Barbados Fire Service, but doing it very well. And so marking this milestone has to mean a lot to all of you. What is the theme and how are you marking the milestone?
All right, let me step back a little bit and say to the general public that this journey started last year on the 25th of September when we celebrated Fire Service Week. We were cognizant of the fact that between September last year and September this year, we will be crossing that significant milestone of celebrating 70 years as an entity that is being self-governed. You would have indicated or alluded to the fact that the fire service did not just simply pop up on the 15th of April in 1955. It had a history being part of the police force. It was managed back then by the police service in the early 19th century. And once we reach April 15th in 1955, then there was a separation, and the fire service gained its own identity as the fire brigade, and then by an act of parliament in 1961 we had the Barbados Fire Service per se. And that journey of celebrating the 70th anniversary started last year. We had a number of small activities, but once we reach the 5th of February this year, we're going to be intensifying those activities. And I'm going to give Mr. Small a chance because we've given him the awesome task of managing these activities, being the director of the planning team and so on. And I'll give him a chance to lay out some of those things that we intend to share with the public.
Take it over.
Okay, thank you again. First, I would like all of Barbados to know that the team has not changed. We are also continuing to acknowledge the past and acclaiming the present and adapting to the future. As you recognize, there are a lot of changes when you look worldwide. You see the different fires and the climate impact. So we remain with that team because there's a lot in there that we can really share and bring out for the 70th anniversary. So like the deputy said, on the 5th of February, what we have deliberately done is calculated that is 70 days to the 70th anniversary.
Nice.
So that has been deliberately done. And what we'll be doing is a series of television interviews with members of the fire service. They're actually going to be a 7-part series with persons from different areas of the department timelines, and they will speak about what they saw and how the fire service evolved during their period in the department. So you might have persons speaking about the administration, persons speaking about the equipment, the vehicles, how life was then, the type of emergencies they would have responded to, and how they cope with the different challenges in the fire service during those periods. So there will be seven of those, with the final one being aired on the 15th of April 2025.
Right.
To ensure that we celebrate the past and bring you to the present. So it would suggest that those persons identified will be from an older generation, bringing you right up to the present.
Yes.
And then we will look through the eyes to see what the future looks like for the Barbados Fire Service. Along with that, we'll be running a quiz competition on the radio, and we'll be giving away 70 smoke alarms. So to the Barbadian public, there will be a question every day for you to answer, and does that successful person will be given a smoke alarm to ensure that we improve our fire safety and the reduction from the loss of lives. But that program does not only give away the smoke alarms, but it gives the public an opportunity to gain knowledge about fire safety and to do some research on the fire service. So we really look forward to that, and we really would like the public to readily engage in being a part of that program. What I would do now is allow the deputy, because now we're on to the 15th of April 2025, and he has the mandate on his shoulder to speak about and to also prepare for that anniversary day.
Thanks again, Mr. Small. I would just want to go back to a point that was made with respect to the issuing of those smoke alarms. And you would appreciate that the fire service as an entity is not only about putting out fires, extinguishing fires and so on, but part of its mandate is really its community engagement. Engaging the public in fire safety, helping people to understand what they can do to manage incidents at home, and to help keep down the fires and incidents that may occur within this space.
Right.
So the 70th anniversary will have a focus on public safety, community safety, and so on as well, in addition to highlighting the fire service and what we do. In terms of the 15th, we started out in February, and we have these activities that were just announced. But on the 15th, we want to have...
Of April.
The 15th of April now, on the actual day, we want to have a symbolic march from the old fire station. We call it Station 1, which was located in Coleridge Street.
Right.
Just opposite the police station. And we will march from there along Prince William Henry Street, up Broad Street, and then to the old location where the fire service headquarters was at Club Willow in in Probin Street.
Okay, Probin.
In Probin
Right,
Street.
right. Mhm.
That was the location of the first headquarters for the Barbados Fire Service, and it also was the location for the Bridgetown Fire Station.
Right.
And once we have done that, we intend to lay a plaque on the tower that is still there, and the plaque would indicate, just have said, that this was the location for the first headquarters of the Barbados Fire Service. We also intend to plant a tree, a fruit tree, on site. And as that tree grows, it indicates the growth of the fire service from its incipient stages and shows its development. And we chose a fruit tree because as that tree produces fruits, it gives a sense of the individual contributions that were made by the different members of the fire service over the period.
And you're feeding the next generation.
And you're feeding the next generation, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. And to culminate that particular activity, we will have a church service at the Bethel Methodist Church next door. And we intend to have a number of schools, not just simply the traditional church service, but to have a number of schools within the area come and make a contribution, a presentation at that church service. And we're hoping that we can engage that grouping of individuals to be a part and parcel of all that we want to do for that particular occasion.
There's a lot of thought put into these celebrations, clearly, and there's a lot of thought and history that needs to be shared. And that's where both of you are going to be doing this as well, as on the radio and on social media and all the different platforms that exist.
Yes.
But I like the story of the march from Coleridge to Probin Street.
Yes.
And I'm suspecting that along the way, everybody loves a march. Everybody loves to see you guys march. Y'all are so good in what you do.
Thank you.
That the stories will be shared of memories. Remember the fire cave shepherd.
Yes.
And the work that would have been put in by the fire responders at that time. And to be able to show how you've been able to keep Barbados alive, safe as well, because of the work of the Barbados Fire Service. To end then with the laying of the plaque and the planting of the tree, showing your growth and the significance and setting roots literally into this island, I think is also quite symbolic and fantastic. And of course, spending time in worship as well, which is great. But you know, every little boy dreams of becoming a fire officer in some way.
Yes.
Are there opportunities in your celebrations also for open days where we can all come and get close to those appliances and, you know, engage with you about how we can be a part of the service?
Yes, it evolved to Mr. Small again.
Okay, so before we get there, but yes, there are opportunities for open days where we encourage the public to come in, and as we said before, that's part of our community outreach. Empowering persons to learn more about what the fire service do and what their role in the community. So definitely there will be open days. But I want to go back to the symbolic march from Coleridge Street to Probin Street. In addition to that, in the month of May, we will also be launching a mural that would depict acknowledging the past. So if you think about the past, Barbados of old, you had a lot of cane fires and grass fires.
Yes.
Then we came to do charter houses and the one-story wall structures. And if you look at in the future, we are seeing these high-rise buildings and the different types of fires. So we'll be having a mural which will be launched in May, and that mural will be depicting the past, the present, and the future. Therefore, that leaves a lasting impression where persons can visit and see the artist's impression of that theme. In addition to that, we will also have a quiz competition in the schools, and that is very critical. Again, the youth are the future. So not only will they be able to come into the open days, and the open days will be open to everyone, but we are also targeting the youth through a quiz competition in the primary schools, and that will culminate on the 15th of May also. And we encourage persons to come out and support the youth as they participate in this worthwhile venture and building a more resilient, and I want to stress that word, building a more resilient Barbados, especially when it comes to fire and some other emergencies that we may have. And to wrap that up, we will also have a national exercise testing our capability for the hurricane season. And you could stay tuned for some other interesting activities that will be coming later in the year.
We're just barely touching the surface right now.
That's right.
There's a lot more still to come.
Definitely.
But again, commendations to both of you and your team of fire officers as well on this 70th anniversary. It's a milestone that we will mark with you here at the CBC, and so we want to wish you well in all of this. Remember, February the 5th is going to be the kicking off of the on-air quiz competition for the delivery of those smoke alarms.
Yes, and the TV series.
And the TV series as well. Now, that's a very good date because that's the birthday of my godchildren. Yeah, so I shall not forget that this is happening on that day. But gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining us. And of course, the doors here are always open for you to come back and talk to us more about what else is coming up. So we keep it ever present in the foremost of the minds of everybody watching, all right?
Yes, thank you very much. Before we go, Pearson, that we want the public to look out on our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, all of those pages to get any other information.
Well said. Henderson Patrick, Deputy Chief Fire Officer, and Marlon Small, Divisional Officer, also chairing the anniversary committee as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Morning Barbados comes back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
3.5 minutes now after 7 o'clock as we head up to St. Thomas to Holy Innocent Primary School. I'm going to school right now because two teachers are sitting across from me. They're having an activity coming up very soon. I know you're asking yourself, what is that activity and how could you be a part? I have the same questions too. Joining me right now next to me is Martinette Harris. She is the arts coordinator at Holy Innocents Primary School. Next to her is Derek Kelman. He is the IT coordinator at Holy Innocents Primary School. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, what is it that's happening at the school?
Well, we are having our fundraising concert. This is scheduled for February 9th at 4 p.m. In the afternoon.
A fundraising concert. You're hoping to raise funds for?
We are raising funds for graduation. and also to help the school where possible in purchasing, resources that teachers may need as well.
Are you looking forward to the concert on the 9th?
Yes.
That's the weekend, isn't it?
Yes, please.
That's the Saturday, is it?
It's the Sunday.
It's a Sunday concert.
Yes, please.
Where is the concert?
The Welshman Hall Anglican Church, which is just next door to school.
Oh, the Holy Innocents Anglican.
Holy Innocents Anglican.
Right, that's where it's good. It's in the church itself.
Yes, please.
All right, which is attached to the school. So this concert is to raise funds to assist with the graduation activity and other activities of the school. Give me a sense of who is going to be on the concert.
Our feature performers will be the Barbados Police Service Band, also Auntie Paula. Most of us know her as Paula Hines, but we know her as Auntie Paula at Holy Innocents. We are also having Ricky Niles. The school's choir will be performing as well as our landship, BLS Explorers. We placed third in the national primary school competition last year.
Congratulations.
So thank you. They will be performing as well as students from the school.
I know Holy Innocents Primary has a choir because I know you have recordings on radio of your choir, your school choir, over years, of course. So I know the music program, no doubt, is very, very rich there as well. Talk to me a little bit, Martin, about what you do as the arts coordinator at the school.
Well, as arts coordinator, I am responsible for language arts. So I ensure that the teachers follow the syllabus. We also come together to discuss ways we can improve the curriculum and also to enhance learning for the children.
Okay, so you have a big job ahead of you.
Yes, please.
And so, Derek,
yes, please.
The concert you said is on the 9th of February. It's a Sunday at Holy Innocents Anglican Church.
Yes, please.
And it begins at what time?
At 4 p.m.
Talk to me about tickets. How can people get inside to be a part of it and support you?
So for children under the age of 12, they're paying at the door. But the tickets will be on sale at the school and even from members of the church. And what she forgot to mention is that the concert carries the caption, "Let Our Voices Echo."
Yes, please.
Let Our Voices
Let Our Voices Echo. Last year, our concert was the goodness of God. And after you speak about the goodness of God, you have to echo that goodness. So that's where the concept of "Let Our Voices Echo" coming.
Have you been a part of the program before?
Just as the person who did the voter thanks, because I can't sing. I can't sing and I can't play an instrument.
Something tells me you haven't even tried to sing or play the instrument.
That's a different story for a different
totally different story. So where can I get a ticket from?
You can get the tickets from the school. Tickets are available from tomorrow, the 29th of January. Yes, it's still January.
Yes.
And you can also get them from persons who will be selling them as well.
Right. So there's some people who will be selling who are affiliated with the school.
Yes, please.
You can get a ticket from the church as well. You can purchase from those who worship at Holy Innocents, or you can get it at the school.
Yes, please.
And so we want as many of you next weekend. It's next weekend. Let your voices echo while being in the pew at Holy Innocents Anglican Church from 6 in the evening. 6, is it? 4 in the afternoon, when the Holy Innocents Primary School puts on that Let Your Voices Echo concert. It's a big concert in support of the graduating class and the activities at the school as well. And we want to commend you on all of this. It's going to be a really good concert. The band of the Barbados Police Service will be there. Auntie Paula Hines, she'll be performing as well, as well as the school's choir. And other people who are associated with the school are going to be giving back in that kind of way. And now you can too, by purchasing your ticket and being there in support of this activity of the Holy Innocent Primary School. How old is the school? Do you know? Either of you know? Have any idea right now? It's been there for a little while.
Let's just say 50 plus years.
Good answer. 50 plus years. And a very good, competent school role and good teachers as well. And so you're doing really wonderfully
teachers.
there for the children. So I really want to wish you well with this activity. I hope that you do get huge response, and that you can fill the Holy Innocent Church. It has good acoustics, so it's going to echo beautifully in there as well. There's a slight balcony, so you can come. You can sit up high or you can sit down low, but come and be a part of Let Your Voices Echo at Holy Innocent Anglican Church. Is a concert put on by the Holy Innocent Primary School, and we're looking for you there on the 9th of February, beginning at 4 in the afternoon. There's a lot of parking space as well, so don't feel that you'll be choked up there as well. So you can park across the street, or you can park in the church compound as well, or just adjacent to. So there's lots of parking. Let Our Voices Echo. Sunday, the 9th of February at the Holy Innocent Anglican Church. Adults, you pay $30. Children under 12, you pay $12.
Yes,
so it's going to be quite affordable indeed. So thank you very much, Derek and Martinette. I wish you the very best with your continuing activities at the school.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, if you could have a job for 1 day, 1 week, what would that job be and why?
I think I would be a farmer.
A farmer?
Yes, please.
Why?
The opportunity to grow my own food and also to raise animals. I came up with animals around me.
You're a country girl.
Kinda.
So you grew up with animals and
please.
farming, as you know, and you would love to do that for a week.
Yes.
Why not longer?
Well, it would be great. It would be great.
It could be longer.
Yes,
Fair
please.
enough. That's Martinette's answer. What about you, Derek?
Well, I gave it a lot of thought, and I think I'm doing that job now as a teacher.
Yeah.
See, I've always wanted to give back to the community that raised me, and being a teacher allows me to do that. And right now at Holy Innocents, we have the 4-H club and stuff, so that allows me to be able to tap into a whole host of other different areas. You would have mentioned that I'm the IT coordinator, so that also gives me another avenue. So I think I have it. The only thing I would like is that each week the salary goes up. That's it.
Excellent.
That's it for me.
That's it. A man can dream. A man can dream. Thank you very much, Martin and Derek as well. Thank you very, very much indeed.
Thank you for
Morning
having
Barbados
us.
comes back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
13 minutes after 7 o'clock. Have you heard of the Bridgetown Literary Arts Tour? Have you really heard of it? Have you been on any of those tours? Have you been regaled with stories? Do you want to know more if you haven't? Well, joining me now is Linda Dean. She is the principal. She's one of those founders of this literary tour. And with her is Winston Farrell, not the minibus man in this instance. Well, Winston, good morning to you, and Linda, good morning as well.
Good morning, person.
Because when I think of this, and I keep remembering, you know, Esther Phillips, the Honorable Esther Phillips, Barbados Poet Laureate, and Robert, who would have formed this with you. Why did you guys decide that you want to do a literary tour?
It was like a convergence of thought. Esther had been writing articles in the local newspaper about our landmarks, our Bridgetown landmarks, and talking about a tour. And Robert and myself, as Arts Etc., were talking about how we would like to have signage at certain points of Bridgetown saying, well, this writer had something to say about this particular landmark or this monument or this actual area of Bridgetown. And so the three of us got talking and we said, well, hey, why don't we do a tour? Let's take it step by step. And we started off with the tours. And the first one that we staged was back in 2014 for the BIM Literary Festival, or just before then. And it's a bug that won't leave us. It's like, yeah, we want to be back on that bus. Yes. And we find ourselves doing it again, you know, and excited to be doing it.
It sounds that way. Yeah. So it's a literal tour on a bus?
On a bus, right? So we like to call it, a tour on bus of historic Bridgetown and its garrison, with Barbadian writers as our guides. So we hop on the bus, right? The tours are February 8th and 15th. Right?
So it's next weekend and the following weekend.
2 consecutive Saturdays. We jump on the bus and we do a tour of Bridgetown, and there are about 13 stops. And at each stop we hear a literary work. It could be a poem, it could be a short story, excerpt from a novel. And these are literary works from some of our finest Barbadian writers, right? And I have one sitting right next to me, right? I don't want to, you know, not too many spoilers, but Farrell leaps on the bus at one point and delivers the bus man.
Many bus hustle, what a bus.
Yes. And we love that. From, you know, previous tours, the passengers absolutely love it. We also stop, say, at Hero Square, at the Careenage, and we hear works that talk about that part of Bridgetown. We go all down into Cheapside, Tudor Street, Subtle Street, Broad Street. We hear snippets from George Lamming on the 1937 riots. We stop by the Empire Theatre, hear about Frank Cullimer's work. We head down to South on Bay Street, where Kamal Brathwaite was born, and we hear South. And I'm not going to say too much about that, but it's spectacular.
But there's so many senses that are being activated in this one tour alone with every stop. So you're looking at, you're seeing, but also you're hearing and almost living the experience of the writer at that point as you tell the stories.
Right.
So how many writers or authors do you have on the tour with you on the 8th and the 15th?
You mean physically on the bus with us? Okay, there's 3, 4, 5.
5 of you.
Maybe on the either on the 8th or the 15th.
And you're just telling stories, reading other people's works as well?
Yes, or our own, or we have readers who will be doing like the works of writers who have already passed. Like, for instance, when we're on Tudor Street, we do a poem by H.A. Vaughan, Hilton A. Vaughan, to a Tudor Street shop girl. So that is read beautifully by one of our fellow poets, and a surprise there on Tudor Street. Again, I'm not going to give too much away, but we will have a surprise on Tudor Street, right? Yeah, for those on and off the bus.
The tour is the 8th and the 15th. There are 2 consecutive Saturdays, the 8th and the 15th. You can do both. You could do one. It'll be great. So, Winston, where do you hop on the bus, if you don't mind me asking?
I think I might be there from the beginning.
Exactly.
From the beginning. So it's a great opportunity, again, to showcase the work and to share with other writers that experience and with those going on the tour. Yes. To my mind, it's a different type of a tour, you know, and I think it is targeting not just people who might be on island visiting, but I think it is an important tour for Barbadians themselves, you know, for Bajans themselves to come out and to get involved in the culture of the word, you know. And the variety is nice. I think the variety of different poets. So after you got started on the bus with the busman, there are other, you know, I particularly like the beach. And Bridgetown itself is an important space, you know, when you look at the environment. So writers dealing with the environment, you got Vaughn dealing with the whole thing of the shop girl. You got Kamau in terms of his work. Bronx Beach is a lovely annex to Bridgetown. On one side you have the lovely Bronx Beach, and on the other side you have the lovely Brandon's Beach. It's such an interesting bay.
It is.
Interesting space. In terms of the buildings themselves, there's some interesting buildings in town that we can afford to celebrate.
I think between
I don't think they have captured all the writings on Bridgetown.
No,
I'm telling you.
I don't think so. And that's the beauty, that's the longevity of it as well, because there's so much else you can do to keep it fresh.
Right.
And so if you've been before, this is a freshness of these tours coming up the 8th and the 15th of February.
Yes.
Where can we get tickets to get on the bus?
Okay, so we have a number of outlets. You can either call, we have a WhatsApp number. Right? And you can call it, I'm going to look at my hand here, 286-5364 to book your tickets online. And we also have outlets at Nubian Air Book Club, which is a bookstore up at Hayman's Market that specialises in black books. Cloisters, that is at Sheraton and Dome. Black Rock Books, which is there at Bats Rock, just you know, before you take that turning to go down to Bats Rock. And we also have outlets at Empowered, which is in Sky Mall. So that's a ticket outlet.
So listen, folks, I mean, people have gone away now from reading, and we want to re-engage you in the spirit of reading as well. So take the tour, and you will find that picking up a book is going to become quite easier for you, because you'll hear the stories told, but then you want to read it for yourself. And I think that's a good experience. Bring the children along as well, because they get also to enjoy not just the readings from the poets alone, but they see the city from a different perspective, and they learn some of the history of the writers of Barbados as well. But
sorry, Pearson, can I just say that even if you can't get on the bus, both dates, at Golden Square, which is
coming to that.
Sorry, at the start and finish point, there is a boutique.
Yes,
there's a boutique with books on sale where you can learn more, and we are having organisations that deal with reading and literacy, who will be part of that boutique. It's like a literary marketplace.
She stepped on the gas for me. See, I was going too slowly for her always. So here we go. So at Golden Square then, there's the boutique. It's a boutique for books, so to speak. And books are on sale.
Yes.
And you also get to engage with some of the writers who are going to be there, I suspect.
Yeah.
But it's going to be quite an atmosphere. Remember to get your ticket early, because there are only so many you can accommodate on the bus.
Correct.
And I hope that you get such an overwhelming response that you have to lay on another bus, and another bus.
That is the goal. That's the goal and the plan.
That's what we want. Yes.
To
fill the buses.
Buses. Just
yes. I think it would be spectacular to see a train of buses moving through the city and stopping and engaging and having everyone wondering what's going on. And then they too want to be a part of it for the following
You've been listening to Esther Phillips, because that's what she has in. Yes, that's what we want. That's what we want. Buses and buses and buses. You know.
Of people who want to live the experience and to see our historic Bridgetown from a totally different perspective and to engage with the written word.
Yes.
That is also very, very important as well. So I'm looking forward to this. Father, what am I doing on the 8th and the 15th? I'll be working that out in my head, but we want you all to be there, to be a part of it. Remember the box offices we've shared with you on our screen. We will share with you on our social media. And the number again we can call or WhatsApp to get more details. Again, Linda?
286-5364.
How smart you are.
And I also said that there's also a chance I'd like to taste Bridgetown, right? So there will be refreshments on sale that reflect some of the literature that you might hear on the bus.
Nice.
So
it's a lovely tour.
It'll be a great day out.
Yeah. It will be a great day. Great day. So it's how long is the tour?
The tours are 2 hours each, but you know the boutique.
The other bit, yes, yes.
The boutique.
So the tour is not long that you feel as if you spent a whole bunch of your Saturday on the bus. It's just 2 hours, and then you head to the boutique and you really engage again. So take time, reserve some time to really have this on the 8th and the 15th of February. That's next weekend and the following weekend. Do each tour, because it's going to be a totally different experience every time. But book it in your groups, book it as an individual, book it as a family, book it because you want to be a part of it. And we'll remind you as the day gets closer as well. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Winston. Good to see both of you again. And please convey my best wishes to Esther as well.
And to Robert
too.
Edison.
Indeed.
Yes, we'll do.
Morning Barbados. Oh, no, you're not getting away. So the question of the day is, you know the question of the day.
Yeah.
If you could have a job for 1 week, what would that job be?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Winston?
Oh, boy, Linda. I don't know, man. I just love what I do, man.
I love what I do, too. I would be... You see, if I wasn't a writer, I would be a dancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love dance, right? And I feel that dancers communicate on some higher level. I really do. Yeah. I love how they express and they, interpret their world. Or I would love to have been like the fastest woman in the world.
All right, Flo Joe, she's coming for your record.
Right?
I was going to be the culture for the day or something. I know. But I like
but we do it through writing.
Anything culture for you.
Culture,
yes.
Be around arts,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you both indeed for playing along with me as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love Crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaching
both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Listen to me, Angela. I'll start with you because you are in the seat of tradition.
Yes.
40 years.
Yes.
You can't let it down.
No.
Does that put pressure on you?
It does. It does, especially with a show that's even older than I am.
Yes.
And knowing the expectations of the population. I mean, this is generations of people who have heard about Laugh It Off, been to Laugh It Off, and they have expectations. So you have to make sure that the audience is happy. So it is always a nail biter, right down to our last show. It is a nail biter. And you're always, finding out from the audience, okay, what worked, what did not work, and we tweak accordingly. So it is nerve-wracking but rewarding.
I told them I have to be very careful because they'll write about me. So let me be very, very careful how I interact with you. But Janine, this is not your first year. You've been in now. You've been in it now, so we know you now with Laugh It Off. And again, as I said, you're so funny. It is not funny how funny you truly are. Talk to me a little bit about what it means walking in the shoes of those who've gone before, to be as comedic as you are and to put on a show that brings Barbadians in numbers to watch.
It's very humbling. I was even thinking about it on my way here, person, and I celebrated 10 years with Laugh It Off this year. So I joined in 2014. So 10 years would have been my anniversary here with Laugh It Off. But it is truly humbling. I'm surely Angelo being in the audience, going to watch Laugh It Off, and then transition to stage. That was a very overwhelming experience to be like, okay, so this is how Tony Thompson felt. This is how Peter Allen felt on stage. And you just saw even Winston Farrell being on stage. So being here at Mornin Barbados, so being on a stage that holds some of those great names in Barbados is a very humbling experience. But certainly the reward is the laughter erupting from the audience coming onto stage and then fueling us to do even crazier things, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And that's what you'll enjoy.
Yes.
Of course.
Just making fun at serious topics as well. And so no name, no blame, no lockup. Why that this year, Angelo?
Well, a lot has happened over the past year politically.
You're calling the names.
And socially. And of course, when that comes up, that's what usually associated when you're talking somebody's name. And somebody says, who are you talking about? No name, no blame, lockup. Not money for the lawyer. So it was to essentially let the audience, let the public know beer politics happening. We talking about people. If you don't know, well, somebody will tell you, but we ain't calling no name. But it was essentially to whet the appetite of the audience. And they did come for politics, and we got enough politics.
Because last week was your opening night weekend.
Yes.
And as you said, enough people came for this enough experience, right? No name, no blame, no lockup. And so how many weeks are you running?
We run a total of 9, I think it's about 9 weeks, 9 weeks, yes.
Wow. I'm telling you, that's a lot of work.
It is.
That's a lot of work. I don't know how you get to breathe in between there, Janine.
I don't even know, but I want to just say on the topic of how many weeks, persons always wait to the last minute to come to the show, and then they call Janine and they call Angela, and my line for them is always, this is not the church supper, I do not have any tickets. Go to the box offices if it's total matter for you, okay? So I want to say that right here publicly now for all those that wait to the last minute and then call Ian, call Cecily, call the cast members. We don't have tickets. Check the box office.
That's a very smart reminder indeed.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Don't call them. Check the box offices. So, are you paying in this one any homage to those who've been over the last 40 years? I know Peter's still around. I know that Tony Thompson's still around. Winston is still around. Cicely and Tom and all those over the years. Are you spending time at any point in time giving tribute to those as well?
Yes, for sure. For sure, we are. Even in bringing back some old scenes, blasts from the past. Scenes that, even Saturday night, we did a scene that Peter was known for.
Yes.
And she thoroughly enjoyed it. So yes, we are. It's a recognition of the past as well as looking forward. Looking forward.
And I mean, we're watching the screen as I'm watching the screen while you talk, and saying my girl Peter there, engaging with Tony Thompson dressed as another character. But that's what it's about, is stepping outside of yourself.
Yes.
And having some fun at what you see. And then going back into yourself at the end of it all. And you've been doing this now so well now for 40 years.
Yes.
And who are members of the cast this time around? Who are you playing off against, Janine?
Well, I am on stage with Angelo. So Angelo is directing and a cast member. There's Vilmore Johnson as Big Rock. Asha Alcock as Nuxina. So the character Nuxina certainly has been revamped. So, Michelle would have been the original character. So Nuxina is still very much on stage, even though the 40 years, that character is now played by Asha Alcock. And Ishaka McNeil, my sweetheart, Dolly, is back.
Yes.
So that's my on-stage husband. Yes. So Dolly Ishaka McNeil is back. And of course, I play Ali Cat. Wow. So I took over the bar from Peter Aline. So I am now the proprietress of the bar. And Dick is my on and off again. Romance.
Trini.
I don't know if he wants to take over the bar.
Your Trini friend, I come and go.
Carry come.
Come and go.
I come and carry come.
So, this is funny. How many weeks have you been rehearsing? I mean, to put on 9 weeks, to put on a show really that can keep people on the edge and in stitches.
Yes.
I don't know what it takes. I can't imagine. I'm sure that there's a bit of spontaneity sometimes on the show that allows you to be able to be cutting edge and current.
Up to Saturday.
Even up to Saturday.
Oh dear.
So heaven knows what's happening this weekend.
Oh dear.
And that's what. So how many weeks of rehearsal would you put on a show like this?
We generally are around 13 to 14 weeks, and we put in a lot of hours. So, for instance, the 21st, which is a public holiday, traditionally has been a full day rehearsal.
Wow.
So we did not get to go down Archer's Bay on the 21st because we were rehearsing, and that is where we really refine the show. But I can tell you, the amount of hours that goes into it, it's pale in comparison. And you see the results of it on stage.
This is worthy of a commendation, honestly, as a national treasure.
Yes.
Laugh It Off. I mean, every year we look forward to laughing it off with Laugh It Off.
Yes.
To just distress a moment, look at yourself and break down.
Yes.
To look at other people and break down as well. And to just re-engage with the stories and see it from a totally different perspective, because that's what I think what you guys do.
Yes.
You see some news stories and you figure, oh, that's the news. That's it. That's all it is.
Yes.
But you guys look at it differently. And I don't know, it takes a special kind of mind to be able to do that and to deliver it as authentically as you do. And so I commend you and the cast for every year engaging us in this kind of event, exciting us to want to be at Laugh It Off. Yes. So, box offices. Madam, I call you now.
Wait, hold on. Box offices, not Janine White, not Angela Lascelles. CS Pharmacy in Lower Broad Street, Bridgetown. Of course, The Nation in Fontebelle. Starcom River Road. New Look Company on Roebuck Street. Empowered in Sky Mall. A&B Music Supplies in Wildy. The Lotto Booth in Spikestown. Visual Oasis in 6 Road St. Phillips. Codrington Estates Office in Codrington, St. John. So we have them across the island of Barbados. So you can get there. And of course, they're online at www.ticketnation.bb or at laughitoffproductions.com.
Indeed. So there's no excuse for you not being there.
No.
Don't wait to hear about it from somebody else. Even though you're curious, I know, like I am, I'm wondering, what are they talking about this year for real? What are they really talking about? I want to go see. So if you want to go see, get your ticket and be there. Do not call Janine. Do not call Angelo. They do not carry tickets, physical tickets on every them. Go to the box offices and get into the seats. And would all the shows be held at the Lord Erskine?
The Lord Erskine Sandiford Center, yes.
And shows start around what time?
8 p.m. At 8
o'clock.
p.m., the national anthem is playing religiously.
I like that. Be on time. Be prompt.
on time.
Is there something for children? Or are you caution?
No.
No.
No what? No wait. She's not caution or no for children?
No for children.
Also, leave the little ones at home and let the adults come to have a good laugh, man. Let your hair down and have a good time. It's for the adults now. So we want to encourage you to lend your support, continue to go out and go to every one of the Laugh It Off shows. And the magic about Laugh It Off is if you went this week and you had your belly full, next week there's a totally different meal for you. And that's why you've got to keep going and going and going. And so I think that is the part of the magic as well of Laugh It Off, that tradition of being able to hook us in such a way that we keep going. That means, Lascelles, it puts a lot of pressure on you to keep the show current.
For sure. Indeed, I think last year, we had some developments nationally, and even on the day of show, we came up with a fresh scene.
Yeah.
We rehearsed it just before the show and went on stage. So we're always keeping abreast of what's happening, and even within jokes that don't work, if a joke doesn't work with an audience, we just change it. If a scene doesn't work, we get rid of it, we replace it. So the show is always in a stage of evolution. Always in a state of evolution.
That requires a special skill, Janine.
Yes.
A real special skill. I mean, I'm here sitting and I have to constantly think of what's the next question while listening to you at the same time, paying attention to everything else. And that's mild compared to what you do.
Yes, it is. Because the audience members, they sit down, they relax, they enjoy, but they're not the ones scrambling off and on stage, trying to pull on the costume, trying to ensure that I'm buttoned up, nothing is exposed, the collars are turned down. So it's a lot that happens backstage, even to get on stage. But the reward is, as I said, the laughter, person saying, wow, 40 years and celebrating with us the journey for Laugh It Off.
If you've watched Saturday Night Live, that pales in comparison. Pales in comparison to what Laugh It Off crew can do. And it just shows the skill sets that we have here on this island. It is a national treasure. Laugh It Off in the 40th year. No name, no blame, no lockup. But you can come see yourself, see others as well, and just have a really good night. It's every Saturday and Sunday?
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday. Only on Saturdays.
Yes.
Lord Erskine Sandiford Center beginning at 8 o'clock. Leave the children at home. Bring your adult self and really have a good laugh indeed. Get to the box offices and get a ticket to DAY. Now, if you have, I could have a job, any job for 1 week, what would that job be, Janine?
See, Angelo knows that I'm a very accomplished singer on stage, usually in groups, but I would be a singer or a ballerina because I think I would look very good in a tutu. So I would be performing at the Lara Court,
Nice.
Those large stages.
Broadway, musicals, something like Swan
Not
Lake.
Broad Street.
Not Broad Street, not Broad Street. It's not Broad Street, a little local. But an international ballerina. I think I have the rump for that too.
Fair enough. Angelo?
For me, it would be a pilot. I love to fly. I love to fly.
Yeah, but you can fly as a passenger.
No, I want to be in control.
Oh, you want to be in control?
Yes.
Janine, you see what we're dealing with? He wants to be in control.
You won't be taking me to my my performance.
Fair enough. And I was told there are no major bus stops in the sky here, so don't expect to stop like that. All right, Janine and Angelo, thank you so much. Angelo is the director, and he's also an actor. And Janine, of course you know Janine. Yes. Janine's going to be on stage cracking you up, indeed. So, well done. Thank you. I'm sorry, you're talking to me. There is one right now? All right, stay right there. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Blessings to each and everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to the Nuka Granny Bar.
You like that,
Yes, I go in thanks to my neighbors.
You're going? So
I went to a few already.
So you already have your tickets?
I guess they have them already.
They've already told you.
I got to buy some senior Pampers.
Yes. Highly recommended.
And smelling salts.
Yes.
The answer for me is if I had to have a job for a week, it would be the health and welfare of the less fortunate. I would try to help as much people as I can within that week. that really need the help.
You'll be a home helper.
No, well, I would say home helper. I mean a minister or somebody that I could give the people money.
You want to be sitting in administration. You ain't going up there yourself.
Yes, I want to be big. Nothing much. She can't offer nothing much but just cleaning and helping the person. I'm talking about where I could get the finance to help those people.
All right, Gail. Thanks,
God
sir.
bless. I have a blessed week. And God bless Barbados. And I know that people preparing for
Laugh
the
it
Nook
off.
and Cranny Bar.
Of course. Welcome. I will see you at the Nook and Cranny Bar. Thank you, Gail. All right. So, folks, we're going to the Nook and Cranny Bar before Laugh It Off at Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre every Saturday for the next 8 weeks. Now, the first week is gone. And we're going to get there and really have a good laughter. Thank you so much for playing along with us.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We're coming right back with more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
15 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock as we turn our attention now to the ongoing work of the Anglican Church, in particular the Church of St. Michael and All Angels. That's where we met with the Dean this morning, the Very Reverend Dr. Jeffrey Gibson. And you also are head of the St. Michael's Centre for Faith and Action. Good morning.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
Good to have you. I know the last
here.
time we met, we would have welcomed from overseas another Dean who would have come to and deliver a lecture.
Yes, the last lecture.
But this year, who are you having?
This year we are having Archdeacon Philip
And he's
from
where?
St. Kitts.
From St. Kitts?
He's from St. Kitts.
No, you say that my eyes lit up because that's my island. I love St.
Okay.
Kitts, so you ought to forgive me for just a moment. So you're having the Kittitian bishop coming in. He's Archdeacon.
Archdeacon
Philip, who's coming
Isaiah Philip.
for the
It's the
Dean's Lecture, the annual Dean's Lecture.
Dean's Lecture, which will be on Thursday, the 6th of February, 7 o'clock in the Courtney Blackman Grand Salle.
I got you. So that's next week.
Next week.
Thursday.
Yes.
The Courtney Blackman Grand Salle. Beginning at what time?
That begins at 7 o'clock in the evening.
What's the theme?
The theme this year is Confirm for What? Confirmation as a pathway for full engagement in ministry and mission.
That's an interesting question. Confirmed for what? And so I suppose it's going to cause us to stop for a moment and ponder, because oftentimes for a lot of people in the church who sit in pews of the church, it's like a ritual. And you want us to look a little bit further beyond the act alone of confirmation.
Yes, and since Advent or December of 2023, the church in the province of the West Indies has moved to a point where admission to communion is now based upon baptism. And persons have asked the question, what has become of confirmation? Because confirmation was in previous years seen as the means whereby people were admitted to adult membership in the church and Holy Communion. Now, confirmation is still practice, but it's a view that confirmation somehow has to be re-examined in light of the change and the practice of ministry, where you no longer have to wait to be confirmed to receive communion.
Right.
And Archdeacon Philip had been researching and studying this matter and has offered us the opportunity to share his theological opinions as to how we could negotiate it in the years ahead, both in terms of theology as well as in the practice of ministry.
This is going to be in the Grand Salle of the Tom Adams Financial Center next week, Thursday, beginning at 6 in the evening.
7 p.m.
7 in the
7
evening.
in the evening.
I think it's going to be a very thought-provoking lecture. It's the Dean's annual lecture, and I really would want everybody to come. You don't have to be Anglican to be a part of the lecture.
Anyone who's interested in the well-being of the church, in their own personal development, and to know what is at the cutting edge of witness at this juncture.
Interesting indeed. I think this is important we all attend. But there are other things that you're doing to celebrate this occasion as well. Something is happening tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow actually is the 200th anniversary of the arrival of the first Bishop of Barbados.
Tomorrow? Okay.
William Hart Coleridge. And in the cathedral, we'll be hosting a service to mark that event. Bishop Michael Maxwell will be the president and preacher. And interestingly, we will begin at what we believe might be the approximate spot where the bishop got off the boat by the boardwalk, and we shall walk from there to the cathedral and then proceed into the service.
So 200 years ago, Bishop Coleridge would have arrived in Barbados, and so you're going to mark that with a procession from the Careenage.
Yes.
And you're going to pass, I'm trying to picture it in my head, a road, Heroes Square, and you go all the way up, straight up to the Cathedral Church of St. Michael and Angels.
Via the Spry Street, entering the cathedral from the west gate.
Oh, so you take that a bit of a turn.
Yes, yes.
Love it indeed. So that happens tomorrow. And again, it doesn't have to be Anglicans alone. That's tomorrow. And what time is the procession scheduled for?
We'll begin at about 9:30. 9:30 in the morning. Yes, it's
tomorrow?
a 10 o'clock service tomorrow morning.
Okay, it's a 10 o'clock service.
10 o'clock service.
Here was I think it was
morning.
an evening service. It's a 10 o'clock service
10
tomorrow.
o'clock service tomorrow morning.
So around 9:30 or so. Traffic, just be mindful of this, that there is going to be a procession
we'll
from
be
the Careenage.
assisted by the members of the Barbados Police Service.
That's going to be quite symbolic and quite beautiful to behold. That's fantastic. So then, also you're having a number of cathedral open doors. Talk to me about the concept behind that and how that is going to unfold.
Yes, thanks for the opportunity. Yes, Cathedral Open Doors, a pilgrimage in faith, is an opportunity for the public in general, Anglicans in particular, to experience the spiritual life in a cathedral. Over time, people will come to worship in the cathedral, maybe come to a funeral, and that space is usually an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and you have the worship experience and you leave. But there are several other features about the physical building that we think would help to generate some spiritual activities and raise some awareness about one's relationship with God. And so over a period of 3 days, Thursday and Friday of this week, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday from 12 noon until 6 p.m., ending with evensong, we'll offer Cathedral Open Doors, a pilgrimage in faith, where a number of spiritual exercises and tours will be offered to engage people in the actual experience of ministry.
So you open their doors, we can all come in.
Yes.
And sit in the pew for just a moment, reflect, but there will be tours, you said, afforded us through the processes and the different ministries as well.
Yes.
How is that going to work? I'm trying to imagine how that works.
Several members of the cathedral have volunteered to organize the tours, to guide people to specific points. And it's not simply to see an object, but to know what the object represents.
So give an example. So that when I come, I can really relate. So I come, I sit, I see the altar.
Yeah.
And so help us understand what that represents, I suppose.
Precisely. Or you may go to the Lady Chapel and see the Ombry. That's a place where not many people go. The Ombry is a place where we store the oils of the church. The oils that are consecrated usually in a chrism mass Monday, Thursday by the bishop. And the cathedral stores the oils for the diocese. It is from there that all the priests across the island will take their oils either for the anointing of the sick, for baptism, and for other uses within the church. So that's an aspect. That's just one example that you normally wouldn't see.
Right.
But it would be highlighted, and people would give an opportunity to be there.
Thursday and Friday, we have
as well
that,
as
and
Saturday.
We have that experience. Thursday and Friday, we're going from noon till from 9 till 5, and then on Saturday from noon to 6.
To 6, yeah.
And so you get a chance to connect once again with your own spirituality, your own faith, and then you get the chance to tour and understand why certain things happen the way they happen, or the explanations of where these things are kept, and that kind of thing. So you see almost behind the curtain, so to speak.
Yes,
of
exactly.
how the church works.
Yes.
And then the even song happens at the end of each day, or is that at the end of the Saturday?
At the end of Saturday.
Oh.
Which will sort of cap the entire experience.
Yes.
And so if you're looking for a sort of event to come to, everybody can come back to the Saturday evening experience.
Yes.
Having come during the course of the time for either personal prayer. And one other feature I think I should highlight is that we have a Guild of Health in St. Raphael, and the leaders of that will be teaching people to use Anglican prayer beads. Now, we might be familiar with the Rosary, which has been particularly associated with the Roman Catholic Church, but there is an Anglican Rosary, which is more popularly called prayer beads. And members of the guild will be on hand to teach persons how to use them, how to make them, and how to use them. They will also be at 3 o'clock each day, the Thursday, the Friday, and the Saturday, will be an opportunity for engagement in something specific. Like the Thursday afternoon, we'll share a lecture on health. And again, this is sponsored by the Guild of Health and St. Raphael.
Right.
And the other 2 days, I'll be available in a sort of open mic session to engage people in matters of spiritual nature.
And that's all in the Cathedral Church of St. Michael. So it's really quite a lot, but it's also quite significant. And I'd want people to come and engage with this so that you, again, search your soul. I think at this time of our life and our existence, with everything that's happening around us, we don't want to lose our soul. So this is an opportunity for you to come into the Church of St. Michael and All Angels and engage once again with your own faith. It's a pilgrimage to faith.
It's a pilgrimage.
And it's making your way back to your center, so to speak. These are just my terms I'm using.
Yes, and so of course, I should add to that, we've also specially invited schools.
Right.
And you'll be happy to know that we've invited Corrigan Parish School.
Good man.
Since they're named after the 2 first bishops.
Thank you very much.
And
that's
so
right,
both,
Coleridge, Bishop Coleridge.
Both secondary and primary schools have been invited to come and engage. Now, for the school pupil and whether teachers, it could be a history lesson.
That's
it
right.
could be an opportunity for spirituality, to kindle faith, or to sustain and stir faith in the youth. And at this time, it's important for us to introduce the faith to the youth, or to help to facilitate their search for their identity.
Well said. I couldn't say it better, Dean. Honestly, I really couldn't say it better. So tomorrow, Wednesday, there's a service at 10 o'clock, but there's a procession that starts at 9:30 from the Carinage, because that signals and creates the moment when Bishop Coleridge landed in Barbados, got off the boat and made his trek to the Cathedral Church of St. Michael. And you can be a part of that procession as well, but be in the church for 10 o'clock, where the Barbados Bishop, the Right Reverend Michael Maxwell, will be there to deliver the sermon. Then the Cathedral Open Days happen Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday and Friday from 9 till 5, and then on Saturday from noon until 6, ending with the evensong on Saturday. And in there you take your pilgrimage of faith. You are exposed to a lot of the the stations, so to speak, the functions of the Anglican Church, and you get to know a whole lot more about what's happening. Then coming up on the following Thursday, the 6th of February, at 7 o'clock, we're going to the Courtney Blackman Grand Salle of the Central Bank for the Dean's Annual Lecture, which will be delivered by the Venerable Isaiah Phillips, the Archdeacon of St. Kitts. And it's free, and you can also be there for that as well. You see his face on the screen. He will come and he will speak on a very interesting subject. Confirmed for what? Confirmation as a pathway for full engagement in ministry and mission. We'd love you all to be there. Dean Jeffrey Gibson, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I have a question for you. I hope you can answer it. If you had a job...
Theology.
Benefits.
No. You continue.
The question of the day is, if you could have a job for just 1 week, what would that job be?
I think it will be chaplain of the West Indies cricket team.
That's interesting. What would you tell them?
I would try
yourself together.
I would start to find out where they are, what is going through their mind, how can I help them to connect.
Yes.
I remember a few years ago I had a chance to meet a chaplain to the English cricket team.
Really?
And it always impressed me, you know, what is the role of a chaplain in a cricket team? And he said that he's there to be with the team and with their families and so on. And,
interesting.
And I think that's, I will go with that one.
I'll come with you. I'll come with you.
Okay.
Dean Jeffrey Gibson, indeed. And, you know, my technical director is saying that's one pilgrimage that probably will never end. There's so much that you have to instill in the teams for them to be successful. But I thank you so much for sharing with us. And I really hope that many people do come and engage with the series of activities of the Church of St. Michael and All Angels starting tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My pleasure to be here.
That's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Our little crew says thanks to you as well. See us again tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.
Good morning.